pasta back here. Recently, I got this new paper from a friend. It's pretty awesome, right? And I'm sure you can get it on Amazon if you want. I'll put a link in the description. But anyway, this paper inspired me to make something, and I invented an envelope that you can write a message inside of. And I wrote a thank you to the person who gave this to me. And I'm going to teach you this envelope now. So you're going to start with the white side up. And you're going to crease in half this way. Then you're going to open it. And you're going to fold the other way. But this time you're not going to crease all the way. You're just going to make a little pinch in the middle. Like that. Just as to kind of mark the fold. Then you're going to fold each side into that big long middle crease that you had, not the pinch. And make sure you line up these folds and crease them really well. Now, if you look inside the doors, you can see where the pinch is. You're going to note where that is. And then you're going to fold the bottom up to the pinch. Or the bottom. And it'll look like this, just the bottom folded. Now this is kind of a tricky fold. You're going to unfold this partially, and you want to make a crease, and if it helps, you can refold the pinch with the barn doors in the way. So just refold the pinch like that. So now you can see it there in front. What you want to do is make a crease on just this first flap that goes from this center point here to this outer point here. And it'll make a white triangle there. And then you do the other side. And it'll look like this. And then you're going to reclose this flap, making the sides into triangles, and try to line it up well enough that there isn't any white showing and the corners are nice and precise. And it'll look somewhat like Yoda. It's a very basic Yoda. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is fold these flaps down. Like this, to the bottom. So now this crease in the middle here is going both ways. And then what you want to do is open this up and let this point go out. So you can see the crease pattern down here. What you want to do is fold both of these points inwards on this last crease to this side. So making the points go inside those folds we just did. And make sure they're not on top, but make sure they're inside the barn doors. That's what I call those first folds that we did. Here's a midway step. Then you're going to fold those in and recollapse that end. And it'll look something like this if you've done it right. You see, instead of having this all on top, you've got one point going inwards like this, and the barn door folded on top of it. And take some time to crease all of your folds again well. Okay, and the next step is, notice you should have these two little triangles here, and you're going to fold those the other way and back just to get those, make sure those folds are creased. And then we're just going to work on one of them for now. So you're going to take this and you're going to stick your finger in this side of it, the top, and open it out. And then you're just going to squash fold, just push it down, making sure that you've squashed it straight down the middle. You'll see that this crease here will line up with this line part thing there. And then you're going to do that on the other side as well, because origami is all about symmetry. Then when you're done with that, we're now going to make a petal fold on each of these two complex or more complex folds we're making. And what we want to do is, right now we're getting rid of the white by folding so that this bottom edge and this bottom edge and then this middle edge here touch the middle. And this is how it's done. What you're going to do is take this edge and fold it over to cover up the white, and so that it'll look like this, and it landed in the middle. You can see where the crease is, basically bisecting the angle. You're going to do that on all four flaps, or two on each. And now there will be no white, it'll look like this. Now you may think, wow, this is a pretty fancy envelope, but no, we're not done. We're going to unfold those, and yes, they have a purpose. We're not just doing random folds and then unfolding them because I'm mean. Now what we're going to do is the petal fold. If you're not familiar with a petal fold, I'll do a bigger, later today I might post I'll get a larger sheet and make a big petal fold on the larger sheet to show you how it works. But if you're familiar with it, you'll see at the top of these two creases or four creases we just made, you can make an imaginary line between the two top points. And now you're going to make that line real. You're going to take this colored part and you're going to fold it up and make the crease that you're making go from one of those points to the other. And then you're going to fold that up. I'll show you from this angle. You're going to fold, it'll start here. You're going to lift it up along that line, and you're going to crease it there. And then you'll notice the sides want to come into the middle, and you're going to let them. And you're going to try to align it perfectly so that there is no white showing, which is a pretty hard thing to do, given that there's not many good reference points. But I'd say I was close enough. So you're going to end up with this, and then you're going to fold this little point that you have the other way, and then do that on the other one. Okay, I'm back now, and as you can see, I've done this one a little better. I'm going to fold the point down, and if you've done it all right, it should look like this. Now we're almost done. Now what we want to do is now we're going to work on this top side, and basically this is an envelope. You can stick things and write things on the inside of it. So this, we're going to make it into a point so that it'll slide into the bottom here nicely. So what we want to do is take the top, and we're just going to fold each corner down to the center line. That's it. Very simple moves. Now it should look like this. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take this flap, and we're going to make a reference mark by bringing this corner all the way down to the bottom, and make sure the corner is lined up with this center line, this crease you can see here. Make sure it's all lined up when you do it. And then you're going to crease that fold. Now you can start to see how it's an envelope. But now we've covered up our pretty parts, so we're going to unfold it. And now notice how in between these two petal folds that we did, there's this little triangle. And what we want to do is, if I put it the other way, you can see that there's white in this triangle. What we want to do is tuck this side under that point into the white, and tuck it as far as you can, and you may have to recrease that top part. And there you go, your finished envelope. Okay, now sadly you've noticed that you'll have to take it apart, but thankfully it's a lot easier if you remember the steps. If you need to rewatch the video, that's perfectly fine with me. That'll just get me more views. What you're going to do is unfold it, and then make sure all the complicated stuff is on the bottom. And in this rectangle in the middle here, just above the complex stuff, in that rectangle is where you're going to put things or write your note. And when you're done with that, you're going to refold the envelope so that you can't see the message or the whatever is inside it. Tuck in the flap, and voila! This can be used to write thank you notes for things, especially origami paper, because origami paper is awesome, and you can make envelopes. Then you don't have to waste money buying the origami paper and the envelopes, so that's a plus as well. This can also be used on Valentine's Day. You can make an envelope and write a note, put a little piece of candy in it, and give it to your crush on Valentine's Day, or your wife, or your girlfriend, or your husband, or whatever. So that's pretty much it. I think this is a really cool envelope. I'm definitely going to upload this to YouTube so that I can let everyone know the design, and so I won't forget. See you in the next video.